So today's question comes from Karen. She's a blue belt. She's been training for about 2 years right now. She says that she's the only woman inside of her gym currently, and recently her coach came up to her and said, hey, listen, I would like to work with you on creating a women's only class so this way we can attract more women into the gym. And Karen says that she's really honored by that potential position. But she's also really hesitant because she says, one, I don't know how to go from student to assisting teaching, and she's wondering, how do you do that? And then she says also, how do you convince women to join the gym and stay and stick around and train? So Karen, thanks for the question. And I know what you're going through to a degree because I was sort of given the opportunity to coach as a blue belt back in the day when my coach got injured, and I went through a lot of the same thoughts that you're going through now, but you do have a unique opportunity in front of you because of the situation of you being the only woman. So to sort of start it off, think about the fact that a lot of times as humans, we need someone to model after to get things going. You know, you think about the way that like we learn how to speak. Like what do? We watch people speak when we're children and we sort of model our speech afterwards, and eventually we make our own voice. And then, you know, even in the gym, what do? We watch our coaches teach techniques and we model after them to sort of make our moves and eventually make our own style over time. But we model after people to sort of that have been there, done that, and they kind of give us a path to follow. It's almost like if you go to the forest and you have a trail that's been carved out in the forest and it has the little markers, the little trailblazes, you follow along to sort of find your path. Even like the 4-minute mile, right? That used to be something that was considered like, no way, you can't do it, it's impossible. And then a guy breaks past that 4-minute barrier, and then all of a sudden right after him, boom, 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 people break it in succession. So again, a lot of times there has to be someone to sort of pioneer that position to sort of blaze the trail to sort of help people follow along. And so in that situation, that's where it's unique, because since you're the only woman in your gym, in that setting, you're kind of a pioneer in your area because you're the only woman that's done it right there. And so what you can do then is you can be the beacon for other women to follow. So again, when other women come into the gym, they can look at you and say, well, Karen's done it. I couldn't imagine doing this, but I see that she's done it. Perfect. I'll follow in her footsteps and I'll try to, you know, model her as much as possible. It's like when a guy goes into the gym, they may be intimidated, but they can look around and see a lot of other dudes doing it. You know, like for instance, if a skinny guy comes into our gym and says, man, I am so small, there's no way I can possibly, you know, be able to beat a bigger guy. They can look at our gym and look at guys like Thomas or Justin Court, some of the guys inside of my gym, and they can say, well, look at these little dudes, they're killing guys. I can do this too. And you can be that for women that come inside of your gym afterwards. Now, as far as like the teaching aspect, like how to go from, you know, student to assistant teaching, understand that no matter how good you get at jiu-jitsu, you're always going to be learning. And so there's always going to be more that you can learn. So again, there may be right now a feeling, this is what I experienced, a feeling of inferiority because you are relatively new to jiu-jitsu, that you don't have it all down yet. And you're never going to have it all down. You're always going to be learning. You should always be learning. But what you can do is you can start with maybe some of the best techniques that you have, some of the things that you've learned and that you feel very comfortable with, and you begin teaching with that. That'll help sort of cut your chops a little bit and get comfortable with the cadence of teaching people and breaking moves down. And for me, I started off with teaching guard passing and kimuras because it was my best stuff. And that's what I began teaching as a blue belt when, you know, I would have to intermittently help coach from time to time as my coach was injured or hurt or whatever it was. And then from there, you could also talk to your coach and see if maybe you guys could coach classes together so that the responsibility doesn't fall on you 100% right in the beginning. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I didn't know what you guys had planned, but maybe you guys could work together in the beginning to sort of do it together, to sort of ease into the process. The last thing is, as far as convincing other people to stick around, you can't convince anyone to do anything. The best thing that you can do is, like I said, be the beacon, be the light that attracts them. You know what I mean? You can't make people do something. It's like the old saying, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't make people stick around and train. That's on them. The best thing that you can do is be the example. You know, because again, there's a lot of people that tell you to do stuff, but the people that to me personally, I don't know about you, but the people that are the most influential to me are the people that live it, the people that do it, and then you can follow them because they've done it already. They haven't just talked about it, they've done it. And so instead of trying to convince people to do something with your words, do with your actions. Continue to become better in jiu-jitsu, continue to learn, continue to be that light that attracts people, and be that, because that's so much more influential and that's more powerful than you telling someone or trying to convince them. Instead, you lead by example. And so, yeah, I hope some of that will be useful to you with your new position, Karen. I hope that it goes well, and thank you so much for the question. And guys, I'll talk to you next time.